Hey, and welcome to this video. So if you're watching this video, you are probably a remodeler that are doing above $1 million, maybe you're doing under. You want to scale to like 5, 10, 20. And throughout the way, you've probably came across a lot of different bottlenecks when trying to pre- generate a predictable stream of high quality appointments and dabbling around with bunch of different lead aggregators, marketing vendors, etc., etc. I've heard it all. I have, in the last 4 or 5 years, scaled over 178 remodelers in the space in the United States. And in 2025, we scaled one of our partners basically from zero to doing over $1 million just from our ads alone in 8 months. So in this video, I just basically want to give you my honest 2 cents on the marketing space in 2026 for remodeling, and why you probably haven't seen the success that you've hoped for with marketing. So first of all, why is it so important to have this predictable stream of high quality appointments coming into your calendar? So first thing is relying on referrals. You can only grow to a certain point in the business before you basically stagnate. And stagnation, we all know, you know, just like evolutionary, if you stagnate, you die. And it's the same principle in the business. Therefore, you always want to grow and seek growth. And you know, the key thing for actually growing is to have a predictable stream of leads, qualified appointments, and thereby close jobs. So you can make sure when you scale up, you hire new sales reps, project managers, etc., that you actually have the people, and you actually have the staff busy. You keep them busy with jobs, and thereby every month that you will get this amount, which you just can't predict from referrals. So that's why it is super important to have your marketing dialed in. So throughout the years, you've probably tried Angie's Home Advisor, all of these pay per lead aggregators, and from what I've heard, they actually worked fine many years ago, but nowadays they aren't just working that well anymore. And the reason why is because your incentives are simply just not aligned with their business model. They are selling the same lead to 5, 10 other remodelers, and they get paid for just sending you a name, email, and phone number. And that means they don't really care about the quality. They just care about obviously sending as many as possible because that's their business model. When you then get these leads, you aren't really sure if, okay, is this actually within the scope of work? Do they have proper expectations in terms of actually what a remodel should cost, and all of the things that goes into doing a remodel. So that's the first thing. That's why they don't really work that well. And also the prices, if we look at kitchen and bathroom, which is a huge industry with great profit margins, normally you're paying around 100 to 250 for just getting this name and email and phone number. And that means at the end of the day, when you have screened through all of these leads, you're ending with a cost per booked appointment that is extremely high. And if you take the metric of cost per qualified booked appointment, it's unfortunately even higher. And then we have the most important metric, which is the cost per acquisition, which is even higher. And that means it's just not that predictable because you don't know what you are getting out of it. Now, fast forward to today, you've probably tried Google Ads, Facebook ad, etc., etc. So I think Google Ads is great to have in place. It's just not extremely scalable. I think it's just good to have as a backbone. So you always have pull marketing, you have push marketing. Pull marketing is Google. You're basically taking the demand that are in the market from people searching up, keywords, which is great because then you're getting people that are interested to just sign up. Um, the thing though is you can only scale that to a certain amount because you can't control how many people are actively searching for these keywords. So if you really want to scale your business, there's one channel that you need to master, and that is Facebook and Instagram advertising. The reason why I say that is because that's push marketing. You're essentially paying for getting eyeballs on your videos or images or whatever you're running in these ads. And that means if you can turn a stranger into a buying customer, you have that predictability in the business that you need to scale. And I've been on so many calls where people have claimed that Facebook and Instagram ads don't work. And it's just like fundamentally wrong. Like if you search up all of the bigger remodeling businesses, you can go to that top 500 list. I would I would guarantee you that 90% of these companies are running ads on Facebook and Instagram. It's not about the platform. It's about how you are, building a system around it. So the first thing that goes into this system is the ads. And I've seen all of these ads that people are running in the market. Some of them are just running like, you know, image ads with like a generic offer, and it's just not hitting home. The other thing is like running these kind of bait and switch ads. So here's just like an example of one of them. If you look at this one, you get it. Yeah. So the thing is like the offer here is great, but let's just paint it out here. If we take this as like a funnel, then we have like the top here, mid, apologize for my drawing, and then we have bottom, which I'll just say BT. So the thing is like when you're running these ads like this one here, you are communicating to people that are really not within the market for a remodel. And what I mean by that is people are scrolling on their phone, they see this ad, and they're like, oh wow, this showcase offer, that's amazing. I mean, I haven't really been thinking about remodeling my kitchen or bathroom or whatever, just home remodeling in general. But yeah, this offer, let me check that out. And that means the intent of these leads are really bad. It can easily be misunderstood, and you're telling Facebook that you want to get like a lot of leads. They see you like, oh, okay, these guys, they just want as many leads as possible. Let's just throw them like these $14 leads, $25 leads, and they're just optimizing for these crappy leads by doing that. Because Facebook knows how much a real valuable lead is worth, and it's about creating your targeting to essentially hit these type of leads. So therefore, we have another angle that we're using, which is more targeting the mid funnel and the bottom funnel. And what I mean by that is people that are actively searching in the market. And scary enough, Facebook and Instagram, the Meta platform, they have over 12,000 data points on every user. And that means they know exactly, their income levels, their the value of their home, where they live, what they're looking for right now, and that means you can use that to your advantage. So by crafting ads that are speaking more to people that are in the market for a kitchen or bathroom or whatever, that's just for the example, are just way more likely to actually convert into a paying job, because these ads right here, they're just focusing on getting the lowest cost per booked appointment. But the lowest cost per booked appointment doesn't really matter. What matters is getting the lowest cost per qualified appointment, and thereby the lowest cost per acquisition, cost per job acquired. Because the whole fundamental of running paid ads is two simple metrics: it's the cost to acquire a new job, and it's how much you make from that job on the bottom line. And that means you should have a 1-to-3 ratio between how much you're paying for acquiring a job and how much you are getting out in return for that job on the bottom line. Those are the two numbers you should be obsessed with. And the discounted rate, top of funnel advertising strategy is not contributing to that metric. It's contributing to just getting you a bunch of crappy appointments. So let me just try and show you one of these ads instead. So the way that we basically run these ads is within the market. there are a lot of different components and a lot of different pockets we can go into, because people have different motives for getting their home remodeled. It could be they want to increase the value of their home. Maybe they're super tired of their old bathroom. Maybe they have an older parent that can't step over the top, and they need to make it like top to shower conversion. There's all of these different things that you can speak into. Or maybe they are already like way more down in the bottom funnel, they're ready to take action, but they're like, oh, who should we go with? And then we can present an ad that is talking about all of we've heard all of the horror stories with remodeling, this is what we do differently, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, let me just show you one of them here. So that's one example, and then I have another one here which is speaking to a different pocket of the market. Let me see this one. Yeah, so that is just two examples. We have over like 50 different angles that we are utilizing, um, obviously across the different sub niches within the remodeling space. But what we're trying to do here is really speak to people that are looking for more quality and it's just like going for the cheapest option out there. So one thing is obviously creating a lead. And I've seen also from a lot of calls that I've been on with remodelers that they've worked with companies that generate a lead, and then they try to like book them in through some like AI call or AI agent, AI SMS workflow, or they just send it over to your team and your team is not really on top of it, and then it just obviously doesn't perform that well, because whenever you get a new lead, that lead should be called within 2 minutes at all times. Obviously not during the night, but like from 8 to 8, you should definitely be calling that lead within 2 minutes. So always have someone on your team ready to call these leads at any time. And so that brings me to the second thing, which is obviously getting that lead booked in. So you get the leads and you then call them up. So when you get on the phone with them, you have a script ready for your team, or in my case, it would be for my team, where we are setting the frame for the call. So that's real humans that are on the phone. They will call and they will first like just build some rapport. Then they will go in to talk about the scope of work. How long have they been looking to get this done? Why do they want to do this now? What don't they like about their bathroom or kitchen or whatever? And when are they looking to get started? And when are you looking to get started is like the first kind of soft question that we're asking to identify if this is a lead that are willing to take action with a remodel in the next 30 to 90 days. That's one thing. Next thing is then we want to obviously also confirm the scope of work. We want to make sure that just for our case with kitchen and bathroom remodels, that which we primarily work with, that you know these appointments they're driving out to are actually with people that are not just looking for some handyman stuff. That's obviously super important. So you aren't driving out there wasting your time on switching like a vanity or something like that. Um, Next thing is then budget. So for a lot of partners, we actually qualify on budget, and the way that we would do that is by having their price ranges. So we won't obviously like try and get them like the exact price over the phone. We just want to educate them and give them an understanding of what a remodel costs, And the way we do that is just stating like, okay, so our remodels or our kitchen remodels or our top to shower or whatever they got in terms of information for that scope of work, you tell, yeah, so our top to shower conversions are starting at 10K and can range all the way up to 20K. Is that something that's realistic for you to invest? They say yes or they say no. If they say no, then probably not a good fit, and you just saved a bunch of time by not driving out to that appointment. Next thing then is pushing for getting the decision makers present. So the way that we do that is, we mentioned that we would love to come out to give them a home inspection, measure anything, give them a free consultation, and then from there we will tell them that a lot of other companies they charge 200 to 300 bucks for this, but all we ask for in return is that all decision makers are present for the appointment, because then they feel like, oh, okay, if they're doing that for us, then the least thing that we can do is making sure that we're both available for that appointment. So we push really hard for that because it's super important. Otherwise, you drive out there, and at the end of the consultation, they tell you, yeah, I mean, I need to speak to my husband about this remodel, and then they go to their husband, they they tell you, hey, I just met this guy, we met them over Facebook, and yeah, it's 30K, what do you think? They will definitely say no because they don't have the full context, they haven't built the discovery, the rapport with the rep, and don't have any context at all. So that's why it's super important to basically make sure that the decision maker is present. Another thing then is also, once you have scheduled the appointment, you get a double tie down that they will definitely be available for this time and day. From there, you need to nurture that lead from the moment you schedule the appointment to them actually showing up. And the way that we do that is by sending over a video. So this video is like a thank you page video. It's like whenever they have scheduled an appointment, we are sending a video that is educating about this appointment. So it's like, hey, if you're on this page, it means you have just booked your consultation for an in-home consultation. We're super excited. Here's what to expect from your appointment. And then it goes over stuff like, this is a no pressure meeting. We just want to get a better idea of your remodeling goals. It's going also into all of these, like into all of these different things, different like objections they could have in their head of this. Like probably they've heard horror stories of companies going into their home and just trying to hard sell them on a remodel. So this is like to get their guards down and yeah, make sure that they want to actually have you come out to their home. Then also we are sending out like emails and messages, just kind of nurturing them, and we also speak to like the reciprocity bias, which means like we send them out a message, which means like, hey, we have prepared some material samples, or we have made a 3D rendering of the pictures to send over, whatever can make them feel like, oh, okay, shit, they have actually like taken some time to prepare everything. So yeah, I would feel really bad for just canceling now. That's just a little trick you can use to increase the show rate. And then obviously you drive out there, you confirm 24 hours before, 3 hours before. Maybe you send a selfie style video saying, hey Chris, super excited to drive out to you tomorrow. I've just prepared XYZ here. I'll see you then. Because then they're like, oh, okay. They can see there's a real human on the other side. And therefore it's, yeah, it would just feel way more embarrassing to basically cancel the appointment. So basically, the whole metrics that you should be looking at throughout this system are first going to be the cost per lead. How much are you paying for getting a lead to sign up through Facebook? The next thing then is taking that lead and getting them scheduled in. So you then see how many leads do we have, how many have scheduled into appointments, and then you get a percentage. From there, you then have obviously your cost per booked appointment. Then you track your show rate or demo rate. So you go out there, how many are canceling, how many are canceling, and then you can see what is your actual cost per demo and cost per showed appointment. From there, you have your close rate, and you have your average order value, you have your cost per acquisition, and then you have the whole 9 yards of actually this system and what it produces for you. And when you have all of these metrics in front of you, you can be like, okay, well, this system is generating a 1 to 10 or 1 to 20. Let's put more money into the machine. And that's exactly how you can scale the business to the next level and add like 1 million. You can go from 1 million to 3 million to 5 million to 10 million. That's exactly how all of the biggest companies are doing it. They have multiple sources of leads that they generate a return on investment from, and that's how they keep their crews busy and ultimately scale the business. So if you want our team to basically take care of this entire process of creating the leads and making sure they show up to the appointment with the highest likelihood of actually closing into a job, then click the link below and schedule a free call with me. And then I'll love to dive into your business and see what we can do. All right. Take care. Bye bye.